Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Baldur's Gate 3 with me, Bregaton. The game just received a fairly large patch, and when I started it, I received a couple points of inspiration. One was from Minsk for slaying Ansur, Wormslayers. The other is for Shadowheart, Ceremonia Alarum, release Night Song. It also said a couple items removed to my Traveler's Chest, so we'll check that out momentarily. First, I want to explore the Bloody Lodge.
Lodge of the Society of Brilliance.
And history? A history of the Society of Brilliance as told by its members. A transcript of the original meeting between Omaloom, Grazilax, Blurg, Sloopadoop, Y, and Skris that led to the founding of the Society of Brilliance, followed by transcripts of ensuing meetings. Also featured statements and testimonies of new members who have since joined. A study of ores. A curiously passionate collection of research notes about ores. A most surprise to me is the above-grounder's enthusiasm for gold and silver. Such metals have neither the practical benefits of mithril, nor the astonishing properties of Hizakkur, and are coveted as if they were the output of Moradin's own forge. Either the above-grounders are deluded, or they're onto something. Only one way to find out. I've acquired some samples for testing. For now, these are stored in a private room. But should they prove to be as valuable as the denizens of the world above would have us think, I suppose I shall have to transfer them to an even more secure location. Mind Flayer Parasite Specimen. Mind Leech's chest key, a small iron key. Broken Parasite Jar. Caught on the cracked rim of the broken jar, the tadpole's lifeless tapered body has been robbed of any danger or use it might have posed. The Pilgrimage to Graven Hollow. A personal account of the pilgrimage to Graven Hollow undertaken by members of the Society of Brilliance in the early 1490s DR, as told by the troglodyte Skris, including the story of Gazrim's Ring, dedicated to the families of the members who ventured bravely in pursuit of knowledge and never returned. Published in the original Undercommon, later translated to Common. The Demonic Crisis. A heavily footnoted tome about the invasion of the Underdark by demon lords in the late 1480s DR and the ensuing purge of madness from the subterranean realm. On the origins of evil. Devils, demons, mind flayers, drow, Githyanki. What do such creatures have in common? Conventional wisdom suggests that it is that quality we call evil. But how wise is this really? After all, scrape one layer beneath the surface, and one finds that there are other common denominators. Perhaps far more common to the individual experience than the ill-defined notion of evil. The following pages seem to detail various arguments for the origins of evil finding its root in generational suffering, the gods, the self, and the environment, but settle on no firm conclusions. A study of spores and their supraterranean effects. There we go. I wanted to say subterranean there so badly. The notes are lengthy, verbose, and densely packed. It has been 4 days since the subject last ingested anything other than spores. They decline even water. It is my belief that in spite of my best efforts, the subject has ceased to respond to stimuli. The subject does not appear to be in any pain. The only symptoms I might describe point more towards ecstasy. The eyes are glazed as before, now accompanied by a soft smile, at the corner of which a steady trickle of spittle may be observed. A sight that is most unnerving to behold. I believe the subject is now suffering from a form of intoxication, and one that they will have to be weaned from safely, and over a period of time so as not cause long-lasting harm. The pronunciation of common for monstrous species, a guide for pedagogues. A guide for teachers on the most effective ways to teach the pronunciation of common to monstrous species. Contents. Introduction, methodical approach to the acquisition of oral fluency. Chapter 1, basic rules of phonics. Chapter 2, vowels. Chapter 3, combining consonants. Chapter 4, practice exercises. Chapter 5, further guidance. And Chapter 6, species-specific challenges. Correspondence from Lady Esther. Dear Master Havkalog, I trust this letter finds you in the best of health and spirits. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Lady Esther, a fervent explorer of the world's mysteries and a dedicated enthusiast of the Sword Coast wonders. The purpose of my correspondence today is to share with you a most thrilling discovery, namely, that I have located an active Githyanki creche right here in Faerun. Exciting news, I am sure you will agree. However, the path to this discovery was arduous indeed. I find that I am rather depleted both in moral reserve and supplies. Sorry, I lost my spot. I am sure that someone in your esteemed position is quite familiar with the difficulty involved in infiltrating such a place, and I humbly beseech you to send forth an advance of coin that I may complete your most noble mission. I eagerly await your response, and hope that you will honor my humble request in the service of your seminal work. Yours faithfully, Lady Esther. She's the one that we sold the Githyanki egg to. Havkalog's journal. I've named him Pateris in honor of the Paterian code, under which he will be raised. We have concocted a means to accelerate his growth that we might condense our learnings into a shorter time period, and yield quick results before the season's end. That seems stupid. The child seems to have taken well to the doctrine that is his namesake. He learns fast, with diligence, attentiveness, and fierce hunger. I dare say he is the best student I have ever seen in all regards but one. He has a certain rigidity when it comes to interpreting the rules of the code. For example, the other day I squashed a rat in his quarters, and Pateris immediately struck me with a blow to the face. When asked why he had done this, he replied, "Rule number 5. Honor and protection to the lesser species." But Pateris, I reasoned, the rat was simply vermin. The Gith child replied, "First one rat, then the entire species. You did not follow the code." I had no response to this that would satisfy him. My notes languish, but with reason. Pateris' appetite for learning is ferocious, and I'm struggling to keep up. I begin to fear for him. He is obsessive, his indoctrination perhaps now too successful. My own injuries are a testament to the vehemence which he upholds the code. He believes himself to be absolute good, but any onlooker would be able to see that this is not the case. He is violent, compulsive, dare I say it, dangerous. What is still not clear to me is whether this is a result of his own self, or his Githyanki nature. The Lost Tomb of Cain. A book of research notes concerning the lost tomb of the half-elf sorcerer Brisus of Cain, the halfling Fargus Rumblefoot, and various attempts to locate the true tomb throughout the Society's history. Right, a note of thanks. For our esteemed colleague of the Society, your invitation to present our work at the Lodge was gratefully received. A full response will be forthcoming once I have had the opportunity to consult with my colleague, Omaleum. In the meantime, please consider this note a tentative acceptance, with thanks for your interest. I look forward to speaking in person soon. Kind regards, Blurg. Your axe got broke. A barely legible ditty is scrawled across this ale-stained, ragged sheet of paper. Magla be it, your axe got... We've read this. I think. Magla be it, your axe got broke. Whips don't sting, your priests all croaked. Show your face and we'll take your eyes, then chop you down to goblin size. The absolute will make you kneel, beg and grovel, bleed and squeal. Magical journey.
Another step forward.
Good. I was just starting to miss the sound of your voice.
Alright, well, I'll leave without saying anything. Broom and Bucket. A collection of anecdotes about kobolds in Baldur's Gate. It seems a tribe of the industrious little scaly creatures were employed by the city to take care of sanitation. In essence, they were sewer workers, drain wardens, and waste disposers. However, in recent times the city has been perplexed and thoroughly nose-wrinkled by the seeming departure of the kobolds. When asked about their disappearance, one citizen said, "Yeah right, hope they turn up. Meantime, who's gonna broom up my pee and bucket my crap?" The Hell's Unleashed. Pretty sure we've read this. Yep. Empiric Duality. This might be new. Excerpt from Telsham Bear Condal's Vampiric Duality. Now look, the thing is, your basic vampire has two instincts, right? Feed and make little vampires. Nonsense. Utter crap. No such thing as a basic anything. The personality of a vampire has many facets as a schizophrenic diamond. The statement seems contradicted only a few paragraphs later. Naturally, when you come down to it, the unidimensional qualities inherent to the vampire make them ideal predators. Their minds are narrow scarlet threads of cruelty spooled over a yarn ball of ravenous hunger. And only a few paragraphs later. Yet who doesn't adore the darkly romantic complexity of the vampire, the gusto of their love, the wildness of their passion? The Unclaimed. The sturdily bound story of a cleric of Shar whose soul was never claimed from the City of Judgment. I read that.
Who are you? Another who needs to learn the difference between right and wrong?
A Githyanki youth, and a familiar one at that. Can it be that this is the one who hatched from the egg you took from the crash?
My oath helps me decide right from wrong. I need no teaching.
No. Everyone must learn. Right from wrong. Good from bad. I am Pataris, and I am good. Father was bad. They all were. I tried to make them better, but they were not strong enough. They lacked resolve.
I would like to have Lae'zel here for this, but she's indisposed and often forgotten about. Who was your father?
Havkelag. He brought me from the shell, raised me quickly, taught me to be good, but he failed me. He was not righteous. He was not innocent. His thoughts were impure. Such evil can only be cured one way, with pain, with torment. And if that does not work, with death. Tell me, are you a good person?
I want to take that paladin option. So, because he was raised or forced to grow so rapidly, and was raised with that very specific code, he wasn't able to learn any nuance. Because he was just hatched, right? And now he's basically a full-grown, or at least a young adult. So he would be radicalized, right? Because he hasn't been able to... He hasn't been taught all the nuances of good and evil. I like to think so.
If you only think, then you do not know. The Patarian code must be obeyed. This is the only way to be sure. Do you follow it?
I like option 4. Because there is no objective good, right? It's usually defined by a society. I live by my own doctrine. This defines the morality of my actions.
Then your code is flawed. Your actions cannot be defended. I know what you did to me. I see the memory of it. Right there in your head. You stole me from my people. Gave me to that woman. Unhatched. Defenseless. You let me be brought here so Father could hurt me. You are bad. You must be taught a lesson.
Let him do it. I mean, I really thought I was saving him. The creche got destroyed. Yeah. You would have been destroyed if not for me. I saved you. Oh wow, 25. Hey, 28, finally.
You were trying to save me. I don't understand. Father saved me. I was a nasty, evil thing, but his treatments made me good. I'm cured.
Oh man, option 3 is a little racist. He lied to you. No one is born evil.
But why would he hurt me if I didn't need to be cured? The code is flawed, and I am a monster, as he said I was. I cannot be trusted. What have I done? What have I done?
A cacophony. Pretty sure we saw this when we first ran into her. She sold this. Yeah, we've seen cacophony and we've seen Gloves of Cinder and Sizzle. I'm almost tempted to give this to Jaheira, but I like the +1 armor class she's getting from their current flail. Though with this, she could use Shillelagh. I open call for adventurers on behalf of the Society. Call for adventurers exploring the nature versus nurture debate. I think I've read this. An opportunity from the Society of Brilliance. Whoops, didn't mean to send that to camp. Well, what's done is done. Get looting, I guess. Have to go back to camp anyway and see what other items were sent to my traveler's chest. So I believe the Shield Bash to be fixed with this patch as well, so we can finally start actually utilizing that. So I'm also guessing that if we recited the Batarian code to him, he would have not been hostile. That's fine leaning on my Paladin Oath. Which conveniently doesn't say anything about stealing. Otherwise, I'd be in a whole heap of trouble. The devotion means you're devoted to filling your pockets with anything you can find. The barrel looked like it was full of tricks. Well, unfortunately, we ruined his life, but it was that or be destroyed. I mean, I guess we indirectly ruined his life. It wasn't intentional.
Mermaid's breath. These city brews ain't got much
I think we knew nothing good was going to come of it. Oh, look at that. Okay, what was moved? My traveler's chest. I'll see it down here. Well, let's go ahead and read this. An opportunity from the Society of Brilliance. Our storied sect requires an object most rare upon our plane, the egg of a Githyanki. The good sir that retrieves this item, which must be in excellent condition, will be rewarded most handsomely. Timeliness is key. Find us in the lodge in Baldur's Gate upon the completion of this task. Signed by the collective Society of Brilliance of Baldur's Gate. So I wonder if you can hand in the egg yourself and not go through Lady Esther, and so you can actually talk to all the members of the society before they're brutally murdered.
We've got a job to do. These goods need to be delivered.
They should be at home with their loved ones.
I'll talk to this group, and then we'll head towards the Blushing Mermaid.
Harborview Park, generously maintained by the Janeth family since 1482 DR.
Fist. Bernice?
Pantella's in a mood. Don't get in that Fist's way when she's in a mood. Pantella's in a mood.
Hi, Fist Pantella.
These common folk need to learn to respect authority. Good thing I'm happy to teach them.
Hi, Cullowbeg.
I swear, this fist is just trying to provoke me, but I'm not going to fall for it.
Felgi Diggums.
Even before they got those big metal bruisers, the fists were obnoxious. But now...
Erno Diggums.
Think I'll just sit back and rest my weary limbs while these angry youngsters sort matters out.
That's the spirit.
Think I'll...
Alright, to the Blushing Mermaid.
Have a low mind. You're living and this well in it. Worry about the next one when it comes.
I don't think I talked to these kids yet. I came up here and then I went back down. I haven't been to Galbraith's home yet either. Hi, concerning the future of Baldur's Gate. Dear Master Galbraith, word has been brought to Candlekeep that Baldur's Gate is under threat, and there are those who claim that the Mind Flayer plot is being driven from within the city's own seats of power. As a leading expert in Mind Flayers and counter-illithid strategies, we would like to consult with you that we may pull our resources to destroy such a plot before it takes root. Leave word for us at the lodge. We'll arrange a date and time. The first reader. And a letter of thanks. Dear Master Galbraith Stredivas, I wanted to write to thank you. You see, you saved my life. I recently had the great misfortune to encounter a Mind Flayer. I'd been tracking it with my friends when I found myself alone in a clearing, wandering straight into its path. The creature had me cornered. Its tentacles were closing on my mind. But something in me refused to submit. I remembered your words. The greatest thing you can do to offset a Mind Flayer's designs upon you is to have allies, and with that, and with what would surely have been my last breath, I called out to them. They rushed to my aid and freed me from the monster's grasp. It is thanks to them that I was able to survive, but thanks to you that I remembered them. For it was that nugget of thought that you planted that I was able to recall at the very moment when all was lost. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I shall be sure to buy many copies of your book that others may consider themselves similarly armed. With gratitude, a fan.
Enter those for whom justice and truth are thine guiding lights.
I'm gonna climb up here, but sure.
Breathe quiet.
The Evil Eye. You've read that. On Illithids, volume 26. Many curious scholars have noted the Illithid's disdain for arcane magic, yet do not understand the reasons behind it. In traditional Illithid circles, psionics are considered incontrovertible proof of our superior minds, and that which relies on study or bloodline is but a corruption of pure mental power. Yet were it so inferior, we would not be able to subvert an elder brain. I have proven that myself, and hope the Society of Brilliance will be able to spread this evidence to the contrary far and wide. My people need not be slaves to the grand design, should they will it. Divine magic is a more complex matter. Some of our creeds advance the philosophies of gods like Elsensine and Manzikorian. That should not be taken as mindless worship. If anything, many of my brethren are jealous of these beings, and study their works in order to supplant them in the future. But to be a god servant, forever yielding, that goes against the tenets of every circle, no matter how liberal their creed. Gilbraith's chest key, a small iron key, and something we've already read.
The work is never done. A harper must sometimes invite herself in.
Bundle of letters. A bulging binder of letters of correspondence between Gilbraith and his son, lovingly preserved. Probably shouldn't take that, assuming his son is no longer with us.
To live in more interesting times.
Hence the preservation.
He has twice the kills you did at that age. He knows the 7 major arteries, the blind spots, everything. That mind flayer is done for.
Well, what are you talking about?
Forgive me, I was speaking to myself. A habit solitude has encouraged. Galbraith Stredivas, mind flayer hunter. My son is tracking one of the beasts as we speak.
Does your son need any help?
No. The more minds for an Illithid to feast on, the greater the risk. As I know too well. I tried to save another, and wound up retired. Permanently. My son has taken up the mantle. He fights tooth and nail every single day. I only pray it's enough. That I've done enough.
You've done your part. Let us take it from here. We know how to deal with them.
It is rare to meet someone who doesn't fear mind flayers. You remind me of an old friend. A hero of his time. Here. He gifted me this. Call it thanks for setting me at ease. They won't win, you know. The mind flayers. Not with my son fighting the good fight. And you.
Abdel's trusted shield.
Go on. You have mind flayers to kill.
So I'm assuming that's a reference to Abdel Adrian. That's his old friend, right? So grants shield bash, which we've read before, and protection from missiles. Amplify your reflexes to better contend with incoming missiles. Ranged weapon attacks against you have disadvantage, and their damage is halved. For 10 turns, too. Requires concentration, though. Attached to this shield is a faded note. G. I found the best defense against an arrow is to be the one behind the bow. But this shield also does the trick in a pinch. Yours, Abdel Adrian. That's cool.
Go on. You have mind flayers.
Just a turn and tickle.
I don't know if he's a character from the original Baldur's Gates. His name doesn't ring a bell. It could have been a minor NPC that I don't recall. I was gonna say that looks like a hidden
Be you wicked?
door right there. Don't let Elminster see all the cheese down here. Oh, that's a...
Plant your feet with care.
Alright, it's a whole thing.
A trap there. Plant your feet with care. Trap. Let us try not to trip headlong through it, yes?
Oh, that's kind of close.
A trap there. Plant your feet with care.
Oh, come on now. We're doing so well. Problem is, I don't see the vents. This is just one of the problems.
Get trapped there. Plant your feet with care.
We were getting lucky with rolls there for a while. It's about time that we stopped. Katana?
I can fawn over my face later. Scouting it out. Trap! Let us try not to trip headlong through it, yes?
So I'm not sure why Cloud Kill isn't affecting her. Alright, let's go on this katana. It's a +1. The head of this slender sword is wrapped with soft black silk, dark color hiding any possible stains. Pumpkins. I like pumpkin. I don't think there's anything with pumpkin in it that I actually like to eat. We'll get there eventually. Confidant of a Duke. Perhaps because he rose from humble beginnings before becoming a Duke of Baldur's Gate, Abdul Adrian made a habit of donning a hooded cloak and roaming his city streets incognito, observing the citizenry and taking pulse of the town, as he used to put it. It was on one of those urban excursions that I first met him, at an outside table in the Elf Song's terrace, when we both summoned the same server and ended up buying each other's ales. We struck up a conversation, and upon finding that I was an adventurer, my new friend applied me with questions about my trade as a monster hunter. He soon let slip that he once followed the adventurer's trade, and thereafter we met regularly to share a mug or two and talk tales and tactics. It was some 10 days before I realized my interlocutor was none other than the city's Grand Duke, by which time we were already fast friends, so I wasn't overawed at sharing a table with him. This is followed by a rambling account of Galbraith's history with Duke Adrian, consisting primarily of a list of what stories Galbraith told the Duke about himself. Pretty sure I've read both of these books.
Plant your feet with care.
A handwritten tome documenting various tried and tested ways to track mind flayers and the results of each endeavor. How to track an illithid. And notes on my player anatomy, we've read this before. Brace chest key, a small iron key. On psionic manipulations and countermeasures, we've read this before. Read that before. This might be new. Fiendish Bestiary. Fiendish Fauna, an attempt to catalog the many varied life forms that daily do battle on the front lines of the Blood War. The section on Category of Devil alone dominates most of the book's bulk. Read that. Volume... We just read this one too, right? Wall of the Faithless, we've read this before as well. That's the, talk about the wall that Merkel set up for the atheists in Faerun. I do believe that's it down here.
Go on. You have mind flayers to kill.
Never wanted the easy path.
I'm curious if his son is actually alive.
I can spare some things. My boy's all grown up now. He won't use it all.
Bloomridge Park ahead.
Oh, that's a lot of food right there. Alright, we'll talk to these two, and then we'll go to the Blushing Mermaid next time. Larka Mina.
New to the city, are you? Don't worry. It's not as scary as it seems. Wherever you've come from, know you're welcome in Baldur's Gate.
Drugug, or Drugag.
If everyone made room for a few more, there'd be no refugee crisis. City'd be better for it, too. I'm just trying to do my bit. Same as everyone else.
But good on you, man. Alright, I'm gonna call it here, and next time we will head... let's go and talk to Rent Sprigley.
Sad and recent... It is a shame Lord Gortash passed before his steel watch could condemn this wretched tavern, this absolute hive. Excuse me? I must return to my work. The Baldur's Mouth Tavern Review doesn't write itself. This reporter found himself distracted by both Lord Gortash's tragic death and unbearably talkative street vagrants outside the Blushing Mermaid.
Alright, gonna call it here, and next time we'll check out the Blushing Mermaid. And I guess check out any other buildings that I may have missed. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.